there is no way that these things are going to continue indefinitely. There is absolutely no way that humanity can pretend like we can screw everybody over and it's going to be fine. And, it's just people are catching on. Like old tricks don't work anymore. And there's either two options that you can do. It's either you start getting more and more manipulative and creating like these completely crazy out of the box tricks to fool people even more into buying your stuff, or you just completely step out of that game and you start doing what I call authentic marketing. Hello and welcome to the Artful Maestro Podcast. My name is Nenad Leonart. I'm your host in this podcast where we check out everything that classical music does with digital media, going onwards into a future where we are looking forward to spread the classical music all across the world. Now, I've been doing this for a couple of years. This has become kind of my main goal, kind of trying to first do that myself. But now I'm at a point where I help, I train, and I coach others to do the same. We've had some great success stories with my clients, with my friends, and I can't wait and share with everyone out there what the best practices are, how you can actually take your career as a classical musician to the next level, and why it's so important to continuously work on yourself, be it with a professional or on your own, just to start getting into the habit of bettering yourself constantly. Okay, so in today's episode, we are going to talk about authentic marketing. Actually, the title is Modern Marketing Mindset. And what I mean with this is when we talk about marketing, people are usually thinking of these sleazy kind of salespeople, of that whole industry which is filled with corporate stuff and logos and designs and stuff that's been thrown at you. And I'm really not talking about that. Like in the past, I thought that these things are what marketing is, and that there's like kind of a trick that you needed to play to get a person to give you money. There's like some sort of psychological manipulation going on so you can actually get paid. Yeah, like I'm selling a service, but people are not going to pay money for that service, so I need to trick them into paying. That was for a long time my personal relationship to marketing. Like that's how I thought it worked, and a lot of people out there think that this is how it works. I'll bet that everybody who isn't in marketing thinks that it works that way. And even a lot of people in marketing, even if they maybe say something else, they actually think in this way. Okay. Before we dive into what's actually going on, let me just quickly mention the Artful Shop, which is the main sponsor of this podcast. In the Artful Shop, this is made for musicians. You can go and get some merch, like shirts, like mugs, like blankets, which are all musically themed. So it's a great gift if you want to give it to a musician friend of yours, if you don't know what to get for their birthday party or for their graduation present or something like that. Just go on there, grab one of the smaller items, and it's going to be memorable, it's going to be fun, and it's really also just a great thing to have. So go check out Artful Shop, and when you are at the checkout, you can even give in the Artful5 code, which is like a discount code, Artful5 with number, and you'll get 5% off your full order. So yeah, just have a look and tell me what you think of it. All right, let's talk about marketing. I've started that marketing has like this kind of weird connotations, and it really does, because most marketing that's still done out there is, in my opinion, horrendous. It comes from a mindset where it's like, okay, money is scarce, There's limited resources out there. Let's try and figure out a way how to trick people into giving us the money, because we kind of invented this thing, like we have this product or we have this service, and we just kind of want to imprint it onto people. And there's oftentimes also like misleading marketing or misleading sales. So you are looking into what people actually want, and then you figure out, oh, okay, so this is how I can manipulate them because now I know what they want. And even if your product or service that you're selling isn't necessarily giving that to them, you still kind of let them think that you are offering it, so just you can make the sale. And I've had this happen to me quite a few times when I was ordering stuff or when I was looking into different services to get for myself, that they would deliberately leave me out in the blue because they knew that they weren't actually providing what I needed, but they just wanted to see the cash on their bank account. So this is not a good way to go, because guess what? These are people that are never going to get me to buy again from them. Never. Because ultimately, the best thing that sells the most is the actual service or the thing that you provide. So let's say you work with someone who is really great at what they're doing and they're providing like great services. Well, guess what? You'll be working even more with them. And that's pretty cool. So the best marketing that you can actually do for yourself is kind of just to have like a rock solid product or a great service that goes way beyond what's expected. So people just go like, oh, this is super reliable. Let's go do this. That's a good thing to have. If you don't do that, well, you maybe can scam like one time or two times, pretend like it worked, but then it's never going to happen again because these people have learned it. They learned their lesson and they just go away, you know? Again, like I've had this happen to me. I've had to work with audio technician, well, actually like as a producer. This guy pretended to be a producer and it was like the worst job ever. Didn't take responsibility for anything. He didn't organize the stuff properly. He went way over the budget with anything. He wasn't helpful like on site. He was half drunk all the time and even complained about me complaining about these situations, like trying to pose himself as a victim of circumstances. Like, to be honest, there's a lot to be said about the victim and perpetrator mentality. We're not going to go into that right now because that's just ludicrous. But what I can tell you is that people like that will never get a deal again from the same person that went through this unless they have some issues on their own. So they're like used to working or living in a very disadvantageous circumstances. So this is for them like the reality of stuff. So they think like, oh, there's nobody out there who can actually provide a better service. This is what I got. So I kind of have to settle. And they settle in working relationships. They settle in private relationships, like in their romantic relationships. And it's just kind of bad. So we're not talking about that either. But just so you know, it's out there. It's part of our world. Doing like really, really, really bad products is not going to be helpful at all. So this is like the first thing that you want to have covered. And that's number one. That's not even marketing. Let's say this is just like delivery of what you've promised or what you are doing. And this is already going to be one of the best things in marketing that you can do. In another video, I talked to you about how I grew my music video business. And the way that I grew it was never with any kind of marketing, like technical stuff, like going out, putting ads. Like I don't even have a website up till this point for it, because the way it grew it kind of never left me any time to do the website properly because, again, there was just so many deals coming my way, so many people requesting, oh, can you do this? Can you go work on that? That I just never came around because work was coming my way. And the reason that work was coming my way was because the work was good. Like what I did was of quality and people were happy, so I had returning customers. But not just that, also other people who have seen my work, they thought, oh, this is cool stuff. I want to have that as well. Also, there were referrals. So they would go and ask the person who recorded like a music video, hey, who did you record this with? This is pretty cool. And then they would say, I recorded this with this person, and this was the price. This was the service. Like they did a really great job. You go ahead and talk to them, right? And then they would reach out to me. So this is kind of like referrals. And this is the next step that we are going to talk here about marketing. So once you have this rock solid product, why you want to go to kind of not advertise that, but just let the people know that who you work for, that this is like you, this is your quality, this is what you deliver, is because they are going not just to become return customers, but to refer you to others. They are going to tell others that you're great. And in today's day and age, as we've said, like marketing oftentimes is kind of shady. And if you need a service from someone that you don't know, you kind of on the psychological scale need much more trust so that you pay for any kind of service to them because you don't know them, right? There's like this uncertainty. What if they are scamming me? What if they are not as good as they say? But if you have a friend who already worked with them and the friend thinks it's great, you see the result, you think it's great, well, this is a complete different game changer. Because once that you have a referral for something, for anything that you're doing, it is not just that you have a quality product, but also that people trust you and that they like working with you. And do not make the mistake, like, everything goes around. This is something that I pay a lot of attention to, and like even not seeking it out, people would just go and tell me, oh, this is a great guy to work with, and this one's horrible. Don't do that. Because like we have our systems, right? It's a ecosystem of social information, kind of backstories and so on. So we always communicate with our peers, with our colleagues, when we're at the same level. So what are you doing? Where are you going? What's going on there? And once you can isolate like a really good thing or a bad thing, like people always talk. There's going to be gossip. There's going to be all the different kind of news. Oh, have you heard? Or, hey, check this out. This is really cool. And these are like kind of noteworthy stories, like noteworthy things to talk to others about. And it comes to the next point. So once that you have a great product and you have kind of people who trust you, who you went like way beyond just doing the necessary, but who you actually made really happy, so they turn into return customers and they refer you to others. The next point is going to be to do really special things for them as well, because you want to increase the way of communicating with them. You want to increase like the bond, and you also want to increase the chances of them referring you to others. So let's say you do something that is very, very generous. Let's say you give them like a discount, or you give them like a, I don't know, you play a free concert, or you, I don't know, just send a thoughtful gift for their birthday or for Christmas, or just to say thank you, Just any of these things, not are they just going to remember you more and remember you in a good memory, but they are also going to tell others about this. And again, you are more in the picture. So probably you now see where this is going. I'm calling it like modern marketing mindset. And this is not necessarily marketing. This is just like you being providing the best service that you possibly can and giving the most value that you possibly can to the people that you work for. And also being very nice to them in a way that's just kind of giving to them. Because you can say, okay, well, that's manipulative to just give them a gift, but you can also just give them a gift because you appreciate them, because that's somebody that put their trust in you, that said, hey, I really like your work. Here's my money. Take it in exchange for your services. So there's a lot of trust being placed in you, and that's something to be really grateful for. If somebody places that much trust in you, that's like also your romantic partner, for example, which we tend to not appreciate as much. Like I know I do, and I should appreciate her way more than I do, because it's just like it becomes second nature. It's kind of gotten usual, you know, like it's everything is in the expected, and then people just start or actually stop appreciating each other because it's like always the same thing. But actually, it is a wonderful, miraculous thing that you have someone who puts like complete trust in you, and they're willing to, like in the case of the romantic partner, they're willing to spend their life with you. And that's something to be super appreciated. So yeah, after this episode, I'm going to go do something nice for her, like find a gift or something. This is definitely something I'm going to go, just by talking about this, I've noticed it. And when we do that for other people as well, just when we show how we appreciate them, how that is wonderful and so on, it's really something to understand that this is like basic human decency. And this is how we are wired. And this is, if you want to like, if you are a happy person and a fulfilled person, this is what you're doing anyway. And if you want to become a happy and fulfilled person, then maybe you want to start doing these things. So it helps you go down that way. So let's repeat. You do a great product. You establish great connections with people who you deliver a great product to. So they start referring you, and then you start appreciating them for putting their trust in you and for referring you to others. Okay, so we have great delivery, we have great relationships, and then we have appreciation. That's the three things. And then we're kind of going into this modern marketing mindset, which is going outside of just the product delivery, but it's actually going into, again, how can you market your services or whatever you do, your products, to other people? Like, and the main question is there, what is of value to you? Again, looking back at the start of the session where we started talking, it's not about, okay, I have this product and I want to know what I have to say, like in which order do I say these words so people are tricked into giving me money so I can just like give them my product and get cash in return. Instead, what you want to be doing is actually finding out what people really need, what they really, really need, and then deliver that kind of product or service to them. You see the difference here? One is you-centered and the other is them-centered. So if it's about your product or your service, you're always like, me, buy my stuff. And with many people that I work with in the Artful Maestro coaching, like when we do the coaching groups, when I have my clients talking to me privately, what they will often describe are exactly these me situations. And then I kind of tell them, hey, you think you're selling something, but you're actually just talking about your stuff, what it does for you. And this doesn't really connect with people, when you're just like, me, my concert, me, my service. Just look at me. I'm so great. Like I need money. Give me money for stuff. When that happens, you're kind of, you've already lost the game of marketing, because you've established that it's not about anything else except for you and what you think is important and what you think is right. So you're kind of messing up the whole connection game there. There's no real relationship. There's no connection. You're just kind of getting into that, I'm going to call it scammy mindset. I know it's not always like scammy, but let's say we tend to start thinking that way if we only think about, what do I get? How do I get this out of the situation? It's kind of getting manipulative. So the other way would be to just shut the fuck up and sit down with a person and talk to them by asking questions and shutting the fuck up. You just ask them what they want. Just ask them what they need. You ask them what their goals are. You ask them what their challenges are. And once you do that, once you do these things, you shut up and you listen. And you listen very carefully to what they are saying to you, because this is a person opening up to you, and they are telling you what they need. If you're receptive, which means if you shut up and if you listen to them, and if you start to understand where they are coming from and what they are saying, then you are starting to build an actual genuine connection with them. Then you are starting to build trust. And then you are able to provide the thing that they actually need. So as you see, the modern marketing here is not you have a product or service, you throw it out to people and kind of force them to buy. What you are doing is you are asking people what they need so you can adapt your unique product or service to them, what they need, so you don't even have to sell it. It's just going to be automatically. It's what they want. It's what they need. And this is how you can genuinely, sustainably help them. I'm going to repeat. If you do something that they need, if you adapt like your unique services to what they need, and you can deliver on that, then you are doing actual great work, and then you are not even selling, but they are buying the thing that they wanted anyway. Like, it's just really natural. And if you think about this, going back to what we said, having the great product, like actually delivering high quality stuff, and then having great relationship with these people, and then also being appreciative of them. So it kind of reminds them that you have a great relationship, like it keeps it alive. What you're doing here when you start listening to what people need is you're creating a relationship. You're starting with the most important thing that nobody else does out there. And this is why I think it's so crazy. Nobody today is really listening. We're full of people who just talk, and it kind of never stops. And today the competition is like, who's going to talk more and more impressive and going to have a better retention than anybody else? And you have like 99% of people who don't actually have a voice because nobody listens to them. And they kind of have to go through life just like choosing between A or B, and sometimes it's A, B, C, but there's like not actually the thing that they wanted, or maybe that the thing that they needed. So they kind of just have to settle. And I do not intend to be someone who is kind of doing something in this world to make people settle for it. I really want to make the exceptional happen. And I really want to have people go, yeah, this is the thing. And if you want to have like a really good, stable financial income, like a good cash flow, if you want to have a security in the future, also that regardless of what happens economically, what happens in the cultural department, what happens in the world, and what happens in your own life, that regardless of these things, you still have a skill set of how you can provide value to other people, because everybody who is able to provide value, it's like an exchange of energy. You give out value and cash comes in. So it's actually getting money for exchange of something that you create. And the more that thing that you create is going to be suited to the needs of other people, the more likely you are to actually receive the energy or the money from them. So do make sure that you do not try to manipulate people, to scam them, to try to make them feel like it's something else and they're like in a cloud, but you are actually doing something else beneath their backs. Because if you are on the losing path, and sooner or later you will be found out and you will lose all these relationships. That's just the nature of things. So once this happens, even if it's happening to you already, just stop and say, okay, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to start from zero, start from scratch and start really working on yourself, on the quality of the things that you can provide, and to connect with people. And this is not an easy thing to do. I know, because first of all, we're not taught at all. Like not in school, not in uni, not anywhere. And I had to kind of learn this on my own. This is maybe some kind of luck that I had in life, that I'm really good at learning stuff on my own, like autodidactically. I just go out there and start figuring out stuff because I just think it's interesting. And these are the things that I kind of figured out through help of others, through studying, through looking at everything that's happening all around me, all in the world. And I kind of understood this is a huge need. This is something that people really need, but they don't even know it exists. They don't even know that there's like a huge responsibility even that we have as humans to take care of each other, but there's just like no time to do it. There's like no resources, no nothing. So by looking at this and seeing that we're not being taught, this is one of the main reasons that I said I want to help people, because if I wouldn't have found this, I would not be here today where I am. And I just want to help others do the same. My dream is to have like a flourishing classical music field, which is not elitist, which is not excluding everybody else, but which is actually sharing the beauty and the idea and the value of this music with everyone else, so that we can all enjoy this as a community and not be like, oh, this one's better and this one's worse, and not go into these kind of hierarchical talkings, and then you get like the music aristocrats and then nobody can touch them and so on. So the idea is to be really, really genuine in who we are and to help others. Actually help them reach their goals, reach their needs. And I felt like for me, this is also what I am doing when I'm helping others, when I'm doing like the coaching programs, because nobody has taught us this. And I like help others find that path for themselves. We sit down, we talk about what's going on, we talk about where we are right now as a society, as humans, and then we're kind of figuring out where they want to go with their career, where they want to be with their life, like with all their unique goals, because everybody understands like career is a different thing for them. Somebody says a successful career is this, the other person says not maybe the complete opposite, but it diverges, like goes very different directions. And what is unique to everybody is, again, like the same thing that unites them, which is that we all have our specific needs and we all need ways to have these needs met. And this is what we do actually in the Artful Maestro coaching program, where we sit down as fellow artists and we figure out a way how to go into the future by making all of this much, much better, by creating better quality, by being more efficient, by getting more money, getting better paid for the things we do, getting more to do what we actually want to do and less of the things that we don't want to do. And this is, I think, the most valuable thing that I can offer to anyone. Like, just be of service to them, to help them grow, to help them reach their unique goals. And this is something that I felt for a long time, but I never kind of admitted it to myself. And it's one of the reasons why I kind of became coach. Again, nobody really wants to be in a situation where they kind of need help. But if we're really honest, we kind of all need some kind of help. And I know I do, and I'm getting coached a lot, actually. I'm having different sessions every month with different kinds of people that are helping me grow in many ways. I'm investing a lot in my education, like a lot. I'm doing constantly, like every week I just have like my education time where it's just reserved for doing seminars, reading books, learning about new things that are kind of gonna go and help me develop more. And I just think it's crazy. I just think it's crazy that we live in a world where we get to do that. And we get to do that today. And this is a unique opportunity that we have. And I really, really hope that everybody out there at some point in their life gets to experience this, because it's just so awesome. It's actually mind-blowing once you really get into it, and once you get in the actions, and once you get into like, this is what it is, like this is how we go forward, but without like hustling, without the pushing, without the striving for striving for excellence, yes, but like without trying to run away from certain things. It's more like of a natural pull to do the best that we can. If I can help you or assist you in any way, I'm really happy to do so. We have a community that's called the Artful Maestro Inner Circle. This is a free community that classical musicians can access. You need to apply to be let in there. However, you don't pay anything, and it's like a community of like-minded people who are helping each other, who get to network, who get to see what others are going through. So they aren't like feeling alone in their development. They aren't feeling alone in what they want and in their life, and just get to talk to each other and see where this is going. Because remember, we are shaping the future right here, right now. And everything that we do is going to matter first on a smaller scale, but the more people we are, it's going to matter more and more on a larger scale. And this is where it's actually going to get really interesting. So make sure to stay in touch. Make sure and just go and say hi. Connect to others, and maybe you make some really good friends there. Maybe you find people who you want to work with your whole life. after that? You don't know, but it kind of, when you put like-minded people together, there's like a tendency for them to become friends, and sometimes even very good friends, and sometimes such good friends that they ended up being friends for life. Having said all that, let's give a short recap of what we talked today about the modern marketing mindset. The marketing that we are talking about is just being really, really authentic and genuine in providing the best service you can to others. Some people call it serving others. And it's important to be genuine, like with your expectations, to not try and manipulate, to not try and have like hidden agendas and, okay, I'll do that, so then they will do this, and so on. There's a normal, like a very normal human behavior kind of thing that we have. And I think it's very interesting to study psychology, to study all these like human patterns that we have inside of us, that they're biological, they're wired into us, so how we behave in certain situations. And everything that we talk in here in this podcast is also how we behave in certain situations. It's not about, okay, if I do this, then this person is going to do that. It's more like, this is the blueprint of how we are as people. And if you like do the right thing, that's been the right thing for thousands of years, always, if you do that, long term, it's going to be good for you. And if you feel like you cannot do that for some reason or the other, maybe it's time to question that belief. Like, where is it coming from and what's it doing? And we'll probably do an episode in the future on that. Like, what if I have trouble being my true authentic self? How do I deal with the pressures of what's expected of me versus who I really am? We'll check that out, promise. But for now, if you have these kind of feelings, just second guess them. Just ask, what's going on here? Like, really, what's beneath the surface? And maybe, just maybe, you find some gold underneath. Okay, it's been enough for today. I hope you had a great time. If you have any questions or if you have some remarks, if something really stood out to you or you liked it, make sure to let me know either in the comments, or you can send me an email. You can send me a DM in social media. I'm going through all of these. These are really important to me. And I'm actually genuinely interested in finding out what you resonated with. So that's of high value to me. If you want to get in touch, just do it in this way, or join the Artful Maestro Inner Circle and ask it in there. That's actually even better. Have a great week. Have a good time, and see you in the next one.